Blending in is the topic for this conversation. And the message that's coming through is that blending in is holding you back. Blending in is holding you back. Okay. I'm hearing that God is calling you into a space of expansion right now. And there's this reminder coming through that you can't expand if you don't listen and let go of what God is asking you to leave behind. Okay. I'm being shown this image of a group of people, and they're all walking in the same direction. And this group of people, they're all wearing the same raincoat and they're all holding the same umbrella, right? The same black umbrella. And they're all blending in. You can't tell the person to the left apart from the person on your right, right? They're all wearing the same raincoat, all walking in the same direction, all holding the same black umbrella. So, with this image, there's another reminder coming through that you can't expand if you don't set yourself apart from the crowd. Okay. You can't expand if you don't set yourself apart from the crowd. And part of the reason why Spirit is saying that you struggle, or why there is this fight whenever it comes to setting yourself apart from the crowd, is because there's some fear that's present. And Spirit is saying that the first thing that you're fearing is there's this fear of being the oddball out. Okay, there's this fear of being the oddball out. There's this fear that if you make the decision to listen and set yourself apart from the crowd, there's this fear that the people around you are going to start looking at you and saying things like, you think you're better than everyone else. Okay. There's this fear that if you set yourself apart from the crowd, that there will no longer be any resonance between you and the people around you. But with that, Spirit is reminding you that a lot of times when we are speaking to this idea of resonance, of resonating with the people around us, oftentimes it's we have to think of it in terms of, okay, what vibration have I been living in? What frequency have I been tuned into for most of my life? That is the frequency, that is the vibration that other people might also be living in and carrying. And that's where we have resonance. Okay. But as God calls you to expand, as God calls you to evolve, as God calls you back home to the essence of who you are, that level of resonance begins to change, because now you are no longer resonating with the version of yourself that was living under certain frequencies and vibration. Now you're starting to resonate with and tune into the frequency of your inner being. Now you're starting to resonate with and tune into the frequency of the essence of who you are. And so, with that, once you begin to really cultivate this intimate relationship with the essence of who you are, with your inner being, how you allow yourself to resonate with other people, the ways in which you allow yourself to resonate with other people also changes. It doesn't mean, because we, of course, we have this cancel culture, right, going on in our world. And it doesn't mean that we cancel people. It doesn't mean that we cut people out of our lives. It just means that we are shifting. And so how we resonate with people begins to change. Okay. And so a part of that is that your willingness to listen to your body, your willingness to listen to God calling you into this space of expansion, your willingness to let go of what God is asking you to let go of so that you can expand. Your willingness to listen, okay, oftentimes can serve as an invitation for others to reflect and identify how they might be needing to do the same, right? So this is why you can't blend in. It's much greater than, it's much bigger than just resonating with other people. Okay? It's really about, if God is calling you to expand, if God is calling you to evolve, and you step into that with confidence, You step into that without worrying about how other people are going to perceive you. And you stand firm in your awareness. Again, that offers an invitation for other people to start reflecting and contemplating and identifying what it is that they might need to let go of so that they can also expand and evolve, right? It's all about listening to your body. It's all about realizing and accepting that you are a vessel for higher consciousness to flow through, that you are a vessel for higher thoughts to flow through, that you are a vessel for a higher frequency, that your inner, it's all about realizing that your inner being is vibrating at a certain frequency. And as you start to come back home to that, and you start to stand firm in that, you then open yourself up to being a living witness for other people. Okay. So you can't expand if you don't set yourself apart from the crowd, right? The other part of it is that part of the reason why there's this struggle to let go is because you're trying to stay relatable. Okay. But spirit wants you to hear that you don't have to betray yourself in order to be relatable. Okay. And then another note that I wrote down with that is that sometimes the most relatable thing that you can do is be real with yourself. Because as you make the decision to be real with yourself, as you make the decision to stand firm in your authenticity, again, you serve as a witness. You serve as an example for other people to do the same. The Spirit, God, is offering an invitation to the people around you to do the same, right? So you have to remember that God calling you into this space of expansion doesn't just, it's not just about you. It's not just about you. It's about maybe you're someone who has your influence is so big. Maybe your influence is so big on the people around you. And so you have to think about that. You have to stop and you have to reflect and you have to think about that. Maybe, again, maybe your influence on the people around you is so big. And so God is calling you out of this space and into a more evolved space so that you can influence people in a different way, right? So that you can influence people in a different way. So blending in is holding you back. And God is saying, listen, it's time to set yourself apart from the crowd because I'm calling you to something higher. I'm calling you into new territory. I'm inviting you to step through doors that you haven't ever stepped through before. And in order to do that, you have to leave behind what I'm asking you to leave behind, right? Whatever thoughts, behaviors, actions, activities, whatever narratives they may be, it's time to leave them behind so that you can expand, so that you can evolve, so that you can grow. Okay, I want to offer you 4 journaling prompts that will help you kind of identify what is it that you need to let go of so that you can expand, so that you can evolve in the way that God is asking you to evolve in, so that you can identify, okay, what are the things that I'm holding on to that are keeping me in this space of blending in with the crowd instead of setting myself apart? And the first one says, what habits and behaviors no longer resonate with who I'm becoming? And maybe even what habits and behaviors no longer resonate with who the essence of with who my inner being is showing me that I am. Okay, the second one says, how am I making myself digestible at the cost of my authenticity? The third one says, where and how am I betraying myself just to be more relatable? And the last one says, what parts of myself are still trying to blend in with a version of me that's long gone? So maybe take 1 or 2 of those journaling prompts and sit with them and allow yourself to reflect and meditate and do some journaling, do some writing. I love you so much. You were meant for greater. And in order for you to step into that, you have to let go of the things that are keeping you in a space of blending in.